Andre Drummond.
Dennis Rodman.
Andre Drummond.
Dennis Rodman.
Andre Drummond.
Dennis Rodman.
12 seconds. Tobias Harris trying to do something. Double team by Scott. 4 seconds. Three-pointer. No.
It's short. Andre tapped it in. 2.1 seconds. He tapped it in.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare two of the greatest rebounders in NBA history.
This NBA center made a bold proclamation that he's the greatest rebounder of all time. We're about to find out.
His play style was as flamboyant on the court as it was off the court. There's never been anyone in the NBA quite like this player, and probably never will.
Trying to box out these two mammoth rebounders is like trying to knock over an oak tree. They simply own the glass in their prime.
We are excited to present to you Andre Drummond and Dennis Rodman. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
Before we begin, we want to ask you to please follow our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. How about a quick message about our exclusive content, guys?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so our classic comparisons are free. I repeat, they are free, but we have dozens of bonus content episodes exclusively on Patreon, or you can access them through the Apple subscription plan for just a few bucks a month.
We have plenty of exclusive Hall of Fame comparisons, but we also have special category episodes where we compare positions by eras, basketball movies, and even team rivalries.
If you want to support us so we can continue what we're doing to bring you hundreds of hours of unique podcast episodes, please subscribe today, either through Apple Podcasts or Patreon.
Visit www.nbanowandthen.com today and join our journey as a paid supporter.
We're getting into this comparison. This has been on our radar for quite some time. I want to know from you guys, why are we comparing Andre Drummond to Dennis Rodman?
Well, first of all, both of these guys got their roots in Detroit. They both made a couple stops in other places as well. We know them as Detroit Pistons rebounding greats.
Believe it or not, rebounding is an art form, and a lot of players today have lost it. It's not just boxing out, which is actually a really big art form. It's also, the geography of the shot, the spin of the ball, the arc of the shot, where it comes off, where they shoot it from. All those things matter with rebounding. These two guys study that to the extreme.
Yo, this guy just said geography of the shot. I've never heard. I love that.
Good way to explain it, though.
I don't know if that's genius or I don't know. Is that like...
It might be a little bit of both.
Okay. All right. It's very different. Geography of the ball. I like that, man. I might use that in the future. Ben, what about you? Why do you think we're comparing these players?
They're big men, power forward, center. They don't have the offensive game. Dennis Rodman was Karl Malone of his time, and Drummond, you could say Jokic or Embiid. They don't really have that back. So what they did was they became incredible rebounders. It allowed them to be dominant in the game, essentially just being incredible rebounders. The numbers are unbelievable. It's kind of why we're comparing them. This is an interesting comparison because on paper, you're like, these really? But then as you break it down, you see the similarities.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be like, no, Dennis Rodman should be compared to like Draymond. I don't know,
right.
Undersized power forward, but their games aren't similar at all.
Right.
It's just the personalities that are kind of similar.
I'll go the route of antics. You look at some of the things that Drummond has done over the years, some of the, I don't know, silly things that he gets clowned
he's just
for.
Silly. He's a silly guy.
Right. Like, I think he's a walking meme. Like when he's pretending like he was posting up on the Lakers bench, like what LeBron was doing. And then he's like giving a peace sign on the fast break to someone when he's playing in Brooklyn. Like, who does that? But Drummond did it. And then, of course, Rodman. Ben was mentioning Rodman leaping into the stands. He has a poster that he got from Sports Authority when he was a kid and wearing a wedding dress. Although I don't foresee Drummond ever wearing a wedding dress. Do you guys ever?
No.
Can you guys
probably
that?
not?
Probably not. He does have kind of like a good sense of humor though, Drummond.
Yeah.
But definitely he's more mild mannered than Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. And for Rodman, it was more the on-court antics. It was mental warfare for him. Get in the guys' heads, Karl Malone, Shaq, Whoever the big man was, he was
Barkley.
Barkley as well,
Barkley.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
First quarter. Background.
We're going to start out with the Big Penguin, a.k.a. Big Cat. Yes, thank you, Basketball Reference. Did you guys know his nickname was Big Penguin?
No.
I didn't know either one.
Okay.
No.
All right, I didn't either. But
Penguin.
anyway,
I just thought his nickname was Drum.
Drum? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before he got those nicknames, he was born Andre Jamal Drummond on August 10th, 1993 in Mount Vernon, New York. His mom, Christine Cameron, a Jamaican immigrant who was a nurse, raised both of her kids on her own. Though born in New York, Drummond grew up in Connecticut. He was pretty tall for his age growing up, so in the small city of Middletown, population 47,000, he stood out. His introduction to hoops, though, was rough. In 7th grade, Drummond was cut from the middle school team, and he even admitted, quote, "It was hard to watch me play." He recalled tripping over himself, falling on the court, throwing up air balls while trying to develop his basketball skills as his body grew. First, over under. How tall was Drummond when he entered his freshman year of high school? Over under 6 feet 8 inches tall. Go with Lucas first.
I think you're tricking us, and I think he was at right 6'8".
I'm going to say over. I'm going to say he might have been like 6'9".
I'm going to say under. So one of us got it right.
All right, I'll start off on a positive note. Maurice, you are correct.
Thank
He
you.
was 6 feet 7 inches.
Okay.
That's still really tall for high school.
Yeah, as a freshman, could you
Yeah.
imagine? Yeah, Lucas is kind of right because he didn't say over, but he said you said 6'8", right?
I said even on the
That-
odds. So.
That kind of fits with the bigs that were smaller as freshmen. We do that
Right.
a lot, and they have guard skills, so it makes sense that Drummond
It was
is
just not.
Yeah.
like Drummond gives you kind of like a 1970s big man.
Yeah.
Like
So
throwback.
and here's the thing. So Drummond is only 1 year younger than me. So as somebody that grew up in playing basketball at that time, if you were tall, they never taught you guard skills. They just taught you
Right.
how to be a big man.
Yeah.
That is
And
true.
then
yes.
you just hone those things. And
Yeah.
that's what I did, and that's what
Yeah.
he did. So it's not surprising there.
Yeah. And you know what's
Yeah.
interesting, Lucas and Ben, in my research, Andre Drummond begged his coach to play point guard. And the
I
coach
bet he
is just
did.
like,
I bet he did.
he was just like, just stay in your lane is basically what he was saying.
But that's crazy, though, how the evolution of basketball training has gone from if you're big, you stay a big, to now, if you're big, you got to know everything.
In the draft right now, you see like the two centers, Queen and Malawach. They're only like 18. They're expected to like, oh, he can kind of shoot threes. And thinking back, like, are you kidding me? Like, these guys have to have like a full bag now.
They do.
Yeah. So
They do.
here's one thing that I'll also say from that. So I was 5'8" in 8th grade. So that's decent size for a middle schooler, especially one at a small private school like I was. Actually, I was the second tallest kid. So my coach only focused on developing big man skills. And when I got to the high school, I only grew 2 more inches in high school. So I was undersized for my position for the majority of high school, and that made things more difficult for me. So that's
you had to practice the geography of the ball and rebounding?
I studied more of well, I appreciate the callback there.
I was waiting for someone to jump in on that one. Lucas got the-
I actually studied the art of boxing out, because boxing
Okay.
out is a art. Because even
Yeah.
if you
Yes.
lose the box out, there's still a way to prevent the other player from getting
Right.
it without getting a hook call on you. You guys know
Right.
what a hook call is, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would hook them, but I would raise both arms at the same time, pretending like I'm going for the rebound, but I'm really just hooking their hand so that they can't go for it either. But I'm not going to get called for a hook call.
Look at you beating the system.
I only got called on a
Well, when
foul
you're-
like maybe once
When
every.
you're undersized, you got to do what you got to do to
Yeah,
get
look,
to the
you
ball.
got you do have to talk a little bit of smack. You do got to like one of the things I would do is like on a free throw shot, I would put my hand in their line of sight because everybody's bent over on a foul shot that's rebounding. I would put my hand in front of their face as like a way to like stop them from seeing the rebound.
Okay.
So just anyway.
Go back to what I was saying. Mental warfare.
Rebounding 101 with Lucas Johnson.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
look,
like this. I like this. All right, let's get back to Drummond. Levi Gillespie, basketball coach in nearby Hartford, stated in a SI.com interview that Drummond, quote, was big and tall and looked exactly like what a basketball player is supposed to look like. He added, quote, people heard about him and they went to see him. But when he didn't perform the way they expected, they became disappointed. A lot of people were mean to him and mean to his face. Drummond claims in the same article that kids in high school did not want to hang out with him because he was so big. To make matters worse, Drummond claims, quote, everybody was telling me, you're terrible. You suck. You should be so much better than you are. He said this time period was really depressing for him. So what do you guys think his mom did to help him overcome all this ridicule? I'll give you 3 options. A, she got him a trainer. B, she sent him to the YMCA. Or C, she told him to try another sport. Maurice, what are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with YMCA.
Trainer.
I'm also going to go with the Y. That sounds like a mom thing to do.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I wish I had the song YMCA.
Man, you know, that song was famous whenever you went to a roller rink in the 90s, just saying.
Oh, man, that's the jam anywhere. Weddings, bar mitzvahs, whatever, right?
Bar mitzvahs.
So she sent him to the YMCA. Just had a flashback. I used to run ball all the time at the Y. Morristown, New Jersey.
Yeah.
You guys know Morristown, right?
Yeah, that's where I got. For me, it was the Phoenixville YMCA was where I played.
Phoenixville.
Shout out to YMCAs and shout out to pals.
See, I don't know about the only thing I know is North Jersey and South Jersey, and North Jersey's better than South Jersey.
Well, next time you come up, we'll go to the Y. We'll play 1-on-1. I'm curious. I've always wanted to play Lucas 1-on-1 since
somehow we got.
You're gonna. My doctor, my knee doctor says that I need to be retired. So I don't know.
Oh, you got the Ben Simmons card.
I'm not saying that I'm
going
going to listen to him. I'm just saying that's what he
you
said.
got these phantom injuries. No, we know you got a boot. No, we know you got a boot on. We know you got a boot on.
Oh no, the boot's gone. It is. I have pre-arthritis now.
Okay, old man.
Yeah.
All right. According to Drummond, he played almost 50 pickup games a day at the Y. Yeah, that's a lot of hooping. And he would actually stay so long that he would close up the gym with the janitors. When he transferred to St. Thomas More High, which is Connecticut's Oak Hill Academy, legendary coach Jerry Quinn told Drummond, physically, you've won the lottery. He told Drummond, you have all the numbers, just don't screw them up. In 2011, he led his prep national team to a championship and was selected for the prestigious Pangos All-American Camp. Before entering college, he was the number 2 prospect in the ESPNU Top 100 and the number 1 prospect by Scout.com. Ben, go to you first. What stands out to you about Drummond before getting to college?
His game has always kind of been the same, I would say. And I think that's kind of what stands out the most. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that like his offensive game didn't really develop as much as it should have. But yeah, I didn't realize he was that high. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know he was that high.
Yeah. I mean, he was clumsy. Like he said it himself.
Right.
He was tripping over his feet. And you don't expect players like that to be so high on the scouting report coming out of high school.
UConn back then, it was a different iteration than we have now of UConn.
I was about to say Jim Calhoun. He was coming in after Hashim Thabit.
Yeah, didn't they win a chip? They won one like not too.
Yeah, they won one with Hashim, I think.
Yeah. So
save the college stuff for
Sorry.
Sorry. So Lucas, what about you? What stands out about his growing up in Connecticut?
Well, 2 things. One, as somebody that grew really quick into their body, was very. You don't know how to move your body when you grow that fast. And obviously my growth spurt is nothing compared to this man's growth spurt. And it took me 2-3 years to get used to my body and its new height. I don't know if his father was in the picture, but I want to know how tall his dad was.
That's a good question. I don't have that on me, but his mom did raise her two kids by herself.
Like I said, I'm just curious because 6'8" by 14 years old.
Yeah.
Shout out his mother, recognizing that he has the potential to do something, and she put him in a YMCA. Sound like to me there was some bullying going on there, and because of how tall he was. You know what? Proved the doubt was wrong. He worked hard. He proved the doubt was wrong. He's an NBA talent, NBA player, long-time NBA player now.
And here's the other thing, like, you can tell that there is some old man to his game. And what I say by that is like when you learn from playing against older men, you pick up some of their skill sets, like his rebounding stuff. That's old man stuff.
Right.
Like that's old man game.
If he was, I wonder what tapes he was watching.
Probably Rodman.
Yeah.
Could be Rodman.
Possibly Rodman. Yeah.
Wilt, maybe a little bit of Russell, maybe Moses Malone.
Moses Malone's a good one,
Yeah, Moses Malone kind of resonates there. So Ben mentioned Drummond at UConn. So I got a little bit of information about him in college. So he stayed home and he decided to play for the Huskies. He was there for just 1 year. In that one season, though, Drummond, unfortunately, he was quite inconsistent. For instance, he scored 20 points against West Virginia. But then,
of course you would bring that up. Okay.
Well, not on purpose. But yeah, against West Virginia, he scored 20. But then against Arkansas in the very next game, he scored 1 point. Then he had 18 against Georgetown. And then against Louisville, he went scoreless. So he's very inconsistent offensively. Some GMs looking at Drummond's year at UConn could have easily mistaken inconsistency for indifference, showing concern about his work ethic and competitive nature. George David, the Pistons GM, spent a week scouting Drummond at UConn. What stood out besides his huge frame and athleticism? It was the joy he expressed when he practiced and the way he remained on the court for extra practice instead of heading right for the locker room. All right, over under. How many points did Drummond average his only year at UConn? Over under 13 points a game.
I believe it was under.
All right, Ben?
Under. He fell pretty far. I think he was the 9th pick, so I'm gonna go under.
I thought it was the 8th, but okay, yeah, either way.
Yeah.
All right, and Maurice.
I'll go under as well.
All right, you guys are all correct. He only averaged 10 points a game.
Oh, I thought it was 12. Okay.
No, it's 10 points. How many boards do you think he averaged? Over under 7 rebounds. Maurice.
Ooh. Over under 7?
Rebounds per game, yeah.
I gotta go over.
Over.
I'm going to go over as well.
Wow, you guys cannot be stopped today. What's going on?
I feel like that was a gimme.
Yeah.
7.6 is how many rebounds he averaged a game. His high for rebounds his freshman year, he had 14 rebounds twice, once against Syracuse, once against Maine. He also averaged 2.7 blocks that season. He finished that year as a Husky, setting the freshman record for double-doubles, which he had 10. Who can name the UConn freshman double-double record holder before Andre Drummond?
Ime Udoka.
Nice try.
Ooh, I need
He's
to
a
think about
center.
this.
You
This
should
is a
know
hard
this,
one.
Lucas. You should know this. You mention this player every other episode.
Oh.
I do?
You're always trying to get a comp for this kid out of UConn. Big man.
I'm
my
ashamed that I'm blanking right now, and I feel like as soon as you say it,
His initials are both vowels.
Do I mention it in the Slack?
Yeah, you have. He has a unique last name.
That doesn't help.
He's African last name.
Okafor.
Yes, thank you. So Drummond entered his name for the 2012 NBA draft, where he was picked in the first round by the Detroit Pistons.
With the 9th pick in the 2012 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select Andre Drummond from the University of Connecticut.
We saw the emotion that Jay mentioned just a second ago, and you also see Austin Rivers. I'm going to tell you why Rivers looks very happy. He hasn't been picked. He's wanted to go to New Orleans, and the Hornets are back on the clock at 10. But this moment is for the Pistons' latest big man. That's the legacy of big men in Detroit, dating back to Bob Lanier and Spider Sally from those championship teams. Lambeer, who could step outside, and now Drummond and Monroe up front together for the Pistons as Andre shakes David Stern's hand, and he's off to the NBA.
Maurice, what stands out to you about Andre Drummond at Connecticut?
Well, we're going to talk about this a lot because this is the main focal point of this episode, but rebounding. He was a legitimate rebounder coming out of college, so you knew that was going to translate into the NBA. And that was At the time, that looked like a pretty good twin tower with Monroe. Now Monroe kind of tailed off, but that was a really good duo in the front court for Detroit. Another good comparison was Bob Lanier. Bob Lanier was a really good rebounder back in his day.
I've suggested somebody for Bob Lanier, just saying.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get to that. Definitely get to that.
Yeah, but overall, with the 9th pick, good draft.
Yeah, inconsistent scorer, but rebounding, you knew it would translate because he had the body for it. He had the smarts for it.
And I will just say the Monroe and Drummond pairing would have worked if the NBA didn't shift from, traditional power forward to the 4-out style that we're in today.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was drafted to be the power forward.
Yeah.
Now, he was drafted now, he'd just be a center. But I get your point.
Yeah.
And Ben, what about you?
Yeah, the fact that he kind of fell kind of surprised me. I remember watching that draft and being kind of surprised he fell that far. Because he was pretty impactful right away, as we'll find out. So
you thought he was going to be top 5?
Yeah, I thought if they were to redraft, given Drummond's first 8 years of his career, that he should have been top 4, top 3 even. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Now I'm curious. I'm going to look at that draft real quick.
Yeah.
Like, who were the players in that draft that were actually... Kemba was in that draft, wasn't? No, Kemba wasn't in that draft.
Kentucky went 1-2. Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Oh, gosh.
3 was Beal. 6 was Damian Lillard.
Okay.
So it was Terrence Ross at 8, Drummond at 9, Austin Rivers at 10.
Yeah, there you go. So he should have been top 4 or 5.
Anybody later in the draft that was good? No, there wasn't.
Miles
it was top heavy with Davis and Lillard, but that's pretty weak draft.
Yeah, it was. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the other side of the comparison. All those Bulls fans and Pistons fans, get ready. It's your guy. We're going to talk about the Worm, a.k.a. Rodzilla, a.k.a. Dennis the Menace, a.k.a. El Loco, a.k.a. Demolition Man. Yes. That's the best nickname. You guys know why he's called Demolition Man, right?
From the movie?
Yeah.
No,
Wesley Snipes had the
hair.
He had the I think it was blonde, I think, in that movie. So before he got those nicknames, he was born Dennis Keith Rodman in Trenton, New Jersey, May 13th, 1961. His mother, Shirley, raised Dennis and his older sisters, Deborah and Kim, in Dallas in a housing project. His dad was nowhere in the picture as Dennis grew up. Although his mom worked multiple jobs, the family was pretty poor. In an article written by Jackie McMullen for ESPN, Dennis was described as, quote, painfully shy. He would cling to his mother's side, and he was often bullied. While his sisters were accomplished basketball players in high school, Dennis struggled at first with sports. Which team was Dennis cut from in high school? Choices: A, soccer, B, football, or C, basketball.
He doesn't seem like a football guy. I'm going to go soccer.
Because of his daughter, I got to go soccer.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
I'm going to say it's basketball. He got cut from his basketball team.
All right, well, all of you are wrong.
Oh,
he got cut from, in high school, he got cut from the football team.
Oh, that's wild, because that's a sport he should have been the best at.
But he was short in high school for a long while. He didn't hit his growth spurt until later,
and he was
right?
probably skinny as hell, because remember, he
was skinny. Yeah, he was skinny on the Pistons. Yeah.
Right. So it's been well documented that Dennis Rodman was kicked out of his house once he graduated from high school. His mom even changed the locks. He had a garbage bag full of clothes, and he would stay at his friend's house. Dennis meandered in life for about 2 years. In an interview, he stated, quote, every day when I wake up, I go to the car wash. I try to make some extra money. Or I go to the 7-Eleven. I try to fold boxes, throw bottles away, stuff like that for $5 a day. Over under, Dennis Rodman's growth spurt in his teen years. So it could be 2 years or 3 years. Growth spurt in that span, 10 inches. Over under, Lucas.
It's going to be over.
Let's say over. I think that fits with being cut by teams, yeah.
I'm going to go under 9 inches.
Maurice, this is for you. The answer was over. He went from 5 feet 6 inches to 6 feet 8 inches. That is
That's wow. That's
unbelievable.
That's a record for our pod.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever had anyone.
You're right.
like
I
that.
do want to note that on Basketball Reference, it does have him listed at 6'7". I don't know if that matters or not. But.
He was 6'8" when the Bulls announced him. That's weird.
Right.
Like,
you know,
they
how
would
they
announce him.
You know
he was
how like,
6'8".
they like to change people's...
Give or take.
Yeah,
give or take an inch.
Yeah, I get the point. You guys grew a lot.
Yeah. So Rodman, he actually played basketball all day during this growth spurt and was eventually discovered in a summer league game by Southeast Oklahoma. He attended South Oak Cliff High School in Dallas, Texas. Although I don't have any of his high school stats, you guys want to hear his college numbers?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dennis attended Southeast Oklahoma from 1983 to 1986. Before we do an over-under, I have to say he had quite an impressive college career. He averaged a double-double. Let's go with rebounds first, since that's what he's known for. Over-under the number of rebounds per game that Rodman averaged in college. I'll go over-under 14. Lucas.
I'm going to say under.
Ben?
I'm going to say over.
And Maurice?
I'm going to say under.
All right, Ben, this is for you.
Really?
He averaged 15.7 rebounds in college.
I think he always was a monster.
Yeah. Always a monster in the glass.
Yeah,
How about this? How many points do we think he averaged in college? Points per game, over under 22 points a game. Maurice, you go first.
No, come on now. Right?
You're laughing. You stand out. Yeah.
No, under.
Come back to me. I don't know.
No, I can't come back. I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I feel like you're trying to trick us, but I'll go with Maurice and say under.
All right, Ben.
I'll say under.
All right.
I knew you were trying to trick us.
Dennis Rodman.
Come on now.
Dennis Rodman.
Come on now.
Averaged 25.7 points a game.
Ow. He went to D2, D3 colleges.
Actually,
that's why.
it was it's an NAIA college. That probably has something to do with it.
That's probably it. Yeah.
Wow.
But still, he's not known for offense, but he was putting up numbers.
They probably just threw him the ball and he just dunked it because he was taller than everybody else.
Yeah, or it was a bunch of fast breaks back then. That could have been it. So in a New York Times interview, assistant coach of Southeast Oklahoma, Lon Reisman, explained the arduous recruitment process. This is interesting, guys. The coach had heard about Dennis and was persistent in calling his mom's house, eventually paid him a visit. Reisman said that Dennis refused to leave his bedroom. Finally, Dennis gave in and Reisman pitched a scholarship opportunity. It was accepted and Dennis Rodman's life changed forever. As you heard, his numbers were crazy. So much so that he was an All-American all 3 years before entering the NBA draft, where he was selected, like Andre Drummond, by the Detroit Pistons.
Get your second or third round pick. You take a Dennis Rodman, who was a non-entity, and now moves him at this point into probably a second round pick.
You take a Dennis Rodman out of some place called southeastern Oklahoma State, and you pit him against the guys from the Dukes and the Georgetowns. If he doesn't crack, you know he's going to get his shot in the bright lights.
It's kind of scary in a way because you never imagine to be out there, and being watched by a lot of, greats like Red Auerbach and some other guys.
NBA scouts took notice. That summer he was drafted by the Detroit Pistons.
But this year, with John Sally and Dennis Rodman in high gear, the Pistons are firing on all cylinders.
Man, shout out to Maurice for finding that clip. I was like,
yeah,
that was good. That is as 80s can get.
Yeah, the music and Pat O'Brien.
There was no actual draft pick.
It's weird how different we talked not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's how people talk. You know what I mean? It's so weird. Yeah.
So Dennis Rodman had a very interesting upbringing and college experience. So who wants to chime in on anything about Rodman's bio?
I'm going to jump in because it's very different from as far as the one and done and like going to a powerhouse, ranked number 2 in high school. I would say that's probably the biggest difference of these two, if we're going to be honest. Like their scholastic success whereas Rodman kind of had more of a junior college to transfer to late third round pick, which you don't even have anymore.
Right.
Not a lottery pick. Very different experience than Drummond. So,
yeah. Okay. That's good. Maurice, what about you?
I got to shout out the scouts, whoever the scouts were, just to find him at not even a D2 school, just finding that potential and dusting him off and, finding the diamond
you
in the
don't see
rough.
players scouted at a D2 school anymore.
Right.
No, you don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For somebody to find that talent and, eventually he gets drafted by the Detroit Pistons, that's wild.
Yeah, it is wild, Maurice. Lucas, what do you think?
It's just a stark contrast of how they interacted with their mothers. We talked about how, it seemed like, Drummond had a very good relationship with his mother and with Rodman, not always the case there. I mean, she locked him out at one point, which, I mean, that's another difference between these players. But, I mean, they still ended up getting to the NBA despite that difference.
Yeah, I think both players, the similarity growing up, neither really had their father in their life. And, of course, how their moms dealt with them was different. I guess Rodman, he was dealing with some stuff. I remember vividly, guys, I don't know why, but in 1996, I remember reading Dennis Rodman's biography, learning what he had to go through and some of the situations he was put in as a teenager was not easy for him. And he had probably some self-esteem issues. And I think that impacted him entering the NBA, because when he got to the Pistons, he was shy, as it was described in the article I read. And then all of a sudden, he gets to the Bulls. I guess playing next to Michael Jordan gives you that confidence, right?
Well, so, he became one of the bad boys.
Definitely, he was a bad boy. So that's it for my segment, guys. Lucas, you ready for your stats, man?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it.
Second quarter. Statistics.
Dinwiddie down the lane. Turned it over, went to the floor to get it back. Dishes to Andre. Play still alive. Andre misses, follows, fills it up. Curry with the drive. Andre with the block to Cartier-Martin. Screens, here's the shot. Spates lost it. 32-27, Warriors.
Offensive categories as well.
44-31, they lead. Pistons go backcourt. Point guard and off guard. Reggie Jackson floats it up. Somehow wouldn't go. Tapped in by Andre. This is not there's no spread offense here. Nope. Reggie to the rim. No. Tapped up and in. Jody Meeks has come off the bench. Cartier-Martin dumps it deep to Andre. Looks it up off glass. No. Taps it up. Yes. Looks inside for Moose. Shot won't fall, but a dynamite dunk on the follow by Andre from the corner.
So those were the highlights. Here are the numbers. Drummond stands at 6'11", weighs in at 279 pounds. He has worn multiple numbers, and I'm not going to ask you to name all of them because that's not fair, but did he ever have a double-digit number in his career?
I think he did. He's played for a lot of teams. I disagree with Maurice. I think
I'm going to say no, because I think even on the Bulls, he was a single-digit guy.
So, Uriah, you're saying yes. Ben and Maurice, you're saying no?
Yeah.
Well, Uriah, go ahead and give yourself one of these.
Okay.
So with the Pistons, he wore 1 his rookie year and then went to 0 for the remainder of the time. With the Cavs, he wore 3. With the Lakers, he wore 2. First stint with the Sixers, he wore 1. Then with the Nets, he why is it? Okay, Nets, he wore 0 and 4. And then with the Bulls, he wore 3. And then now with the second stint with the Sixers, he's wearing number 5. So just an interesting journey there, but he's never gone double digits. Now, I'll be honest, Drummond's prime was at the beginning of his career, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But it was a spectacular prime. And I remember him listening to an interview saying that after he got his first big contract, he stopped trying to develop his game any further, and that's why he believes he's a backup now.
I wish he didn't say that.
Well, but it's true, though. I mean, in a sense, it was true. But that being said, I went with the 17-18 season when he turned 24. He averaged a league-leading 16 rebounds per game.
Oh.
15 points, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks, 2.6 turnovers, and 3.2 fouls while shooting 52.9% from the field. Didn't make any of the 3-point attempts that he made, and then shot 60.5% from the foul line. So that's just one that's easily his best season, most well-rounded season. But thoughts on that?
I'll go first. 65% is actually high for his free throw percentage.
It is.
He was known for not being a good free throw shooter. He got some weird mechanics.
His career foul shots are at 48.6%.
48%?
Yeah, so that was a career year for him for the free throw line. He's known for that. Dennis Rodman is also not known for being a really good free throw shooter as well. So that's another comparison right there. Yeah, I wish he wouldn't make that. Wish he wouldn't have made that comment.
Well, he made it recently. He didn't make it at the time that he got paid.
Yeah, but there's a lot of players out there that we know of that got paid and packed it in.
I appreciate. I as a man, I appreciate him owning up to it. That's the way I see it, and he's made amends for it by trying to do what he can now in the role that he's been given by the NBA.
Yeah, but just to wrap that up, I think early in his career he tried to be all around great big, and I think over the last few years he's found his role as just being like rebounder, protect the paint, shot blocker, and that's worked out for him.
Well, let me just ask you guys this. If he averaged, let's say, around 15, 16, and 3 assists and a half block a game for his career, like currently in the NBA today, would he be a top 5 or top 10 center?
Well, what's the rebounding?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he would be what? Top 5 or top 10? I would say top 5.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Well, you still have Joel, you have Jokic, you have Wemby, you have Sabonis. That's 4 right there, right?
Honestly, well, a guy that's kind of obscure. Yeah, Cat, and then Zubats.
Zubats. Low key, Zubats is one of the best.
Zubats is creeping in the top 5, top 6 with his he's having kind of obscure rebounding year.
Yeah. He's doing great.
I just want to jump in and say what stood out to me with your stats is the rebounds. Anytime someone averages over 14 in a season, we're talking Rodman numbers because Rodman used to put up those rebounding numbers. And in this era of NBA with so much 3-point shooting, there's more long rebounds where if you're a center, you're more in the box, you're under the rim. So for him to still get 16 rebounds in an era where it's more threes than ever, I think that's impressive.
Well, and here's the thing. That season, he also averaged 5.1 offensive rebounds.
Okay.
Wow. He was a good center right when Jokic and Embiid were starting to ascend.
Exactly.
So he was actually ahead of them. I don't know if you guys remember.
He was.
He was technically ahead of Jokic.
Him and Joel started this trash talk. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Jokic and Embiid just destroyed the field.
Yeah.
Before I tell you the career stats, I'm going to tell you for the past, what would I say here? 4 seasons? Yeah, 4 seasons. He's averaged under 10 rebounds per game, okay? Keep that in mind when I tell you the career stats, okay? As a backup for the majority of that time, he's averaged under 10 rebounds per game, at least. Okay. For his career, he's averaging 12.5 points, 12.1 rebounds. Despite the last 4 seasons averaging under 10 rebounds a game because of his new role. Keep that in mind. He's averaging 1.2 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.3 blocks, while shooting 54.2% from the field, 12.9% from the 3-point line, and 48.6% from the foul line. So just some takeaways from that.
Yeah, when you lose minutes because you're no longer a starter and you're still getting a significant amount of rebounds off the bench, that shows you his skill and talent still there. Yeah. He's only 31, but he's been in the league forever.
Like I mentioned, he knows his role now.
Yeah.
And he's become a career journeyman, and that's cool. Man, he's still getting an NBA check. So he knows his role, he knows where he fits in, and it's working for him. I think a lot of teams in the NBA would love to have Andre Drummond as their backup.
Well, let me just give you some other interesting stats here, too. Oh, Ben, did you want to add anything first?
No, I was going to be. I don't think currently, but back then, yeah. I think currently he's lost a lot of athleticism, which has affected his rebounding and defense.
He's weighing in currently at 279, which feels like a little big for a guy his size. So, But let me just put this into perspective for you guys too. There's only been 2 teams that he's played with that he hasn't averaged at least 10 rebounds per game, and that's with the Bulls and Sixers as, full-time backups essentially there. With the Pistons, he averaged 14.4 points and 13.9 rebounds. So just craziness there. So anyway, let me go to career highs. Oh, I always tell you guys this. Oh, wait a second, they don't have the triple doubles there. Okay, well, that's a little depressing here. He has no triple doubles. Crazy. Okay. They don't even tell me double doubles. I'm sure he's up there in double doubles.
Oh, I'm sure he has tons of double doubles.
Oh, he does have some all-time marks like NBA history for rebounds per 100 possessions. He leads the NBA in NBA history in rebounds per 100 possessions at 22.7.
Okay.
Wow. Not too shabby.
He also leads the league in defensive rebounds percentage at 33.8% and total rebounds percentage at 25.1%.
Yeah, and that's higher than Dennis Rodman.
I'm saying
did a little
all time. So
I did a little stat research myself, and Rodman's number 1 in rebound percentage.
Let's get to career highs here. So I'm not going to do the over-under for the points. Nobody cares about that with these guys. We're going to go to rebounds first, but points per game. His career high is only 33 points.
Okay.
I honestly thought it would have been at least 40. But okay.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
No, I can't imagine him scoring 40.
Okay, so that's that. Over under career high 30 rebounds as a career high for Andre Drummond.
Over.
I feel like you're trying to trick us. I'm going to go under.
Maybe I am. I don't know.
I'm going under.
Is it
You're
exactly?
right.
Wait, I'm right?
Yeah.
It's 30?
It's 29.
Oh,
there we go.
I honestly thought he did have a 30 rebound game, but I don't see it here on Basketball Reference. So
wait, I'm mad that you sounded sad that I got it right.
You
want me to fail.
I always try to get everybody to fail here. Okay, so there's that.
Okay, it's crazy.
So, oh wow, when did that?
First of all, let me say this: 29 rebounds is a career high. It's really good. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah,
that's crazy good.
Chamberlain-esque, if you will.
Yeah. Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain.
I can tell you the team he did it against.
Who did he do against?
The Pacers.
Oh, you remember that?
Well, I watched highlights 5 minutes before we came on. So
okay.
I kind of cheated there.
Okay. So here are some other interesting career highs. We know that Drummond's not a good foul shooter. So tell me, what do you think his career high in foul attempt shots are?
Attempts?
Yeah.
Ooh. It might be
over under 25.
Free throw shots?
Yep, in a single game.
Oh my god!
They probably had a hack a drum or something. I don't know.
Okay, so you say over, Maurice. Ben, what do you say?
Over.
Uriah?
I'm gonna say under again.
It was actually 36.
Wow.
So, over. Okay.
36 free throws?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Now here's the crazy part. Offensive rebounds. He's had a career high of 15 offensive rebounds in a single game.
Ooh. Wow.
21 defensive rebounds. 8 assists, 6 steals, 7 blocks, 9 turnovers. So any thoughts about this?
I'm actually shocked that 7 blocks is not more than 7 blocks.
I mean, he's never been known as like a rim protector.
Right.
Early on in his career, he blocked a good amount of shots.
He got that 7 blocks in the season in the 2018-2009. Nope, hang on. 2016-17 season.
Okay, he's still with Detroit. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the offensive rebound, we just have to admit, and he admitted himself that in certain games he would tap the ball to himself to get offensive rebounds. And I'm sure Rodman and some of these other guys in history would maybe do the same thing. I mean,
stat padding.
Yeah, these players, they know what they're doing. So, I mean, you can't deny the longevity, but to get those many offensive rebounds, he knew he was missing some of those shots.
Okay.
Yeah, the offensive rebounds is impressive.
So I know this is a regular episode, Uriah, but because rebounding is such key here, I am going to pull up some all-time stats just real quick. So among active players with his 10,982 rebounds as of April 6th, which I don't think he's playing the rest of the season. So for the rest of the season, he is second among active players in total rebounds and 34th all time.
Wow, second. I wonder who's first.
It's probably Al either
Al Horford,
maybe, or I don't. They don't. Dwight Howard's not considered an active player anymore,
No,
right?
It's LeBron. It's LeBron James.
Oh, maybe LeBron.
LeBron?
Well, he
Rebounds?
averages about 8 or 7, and he's been playing a lot longer.
Yeah,
maybe
right, possible.
Okay, so rebounds per game at 12.1 among active players. He is first among all time. He is 16th.
Okay, all right.
And then offensive rebounds. Active, he is first with 3,764 and 14th all-time. Defensive rebounds, he is fifth among active players with 7,216 and 31st all-time.
LeBron is number one.
Okay.
Like 1,000 more rebounds. It's crazy.
Really? Okay.
Oh, he's been playing for 22 years.
Yeah. 2003.
With Pippen. Oh! Look at the block by Rodman. No foul call. Well, I'll tell you about
Rodman setting a screen. 8 on the shot clock. Rodman behind the back to Williams. Foul by Henderson. The basket counts.
Excellent ball movement and a great pass by Dennis Rodman.
Shots. McHale, who has 20. And a steal by Rodman. 3-on-1 break. Thomas. And Rodman gets the basket, and Larry Bird with his second foul of the game. So the Pistons have come out and responded early in the fourth.
Pontiac, and a bad pass by Kevin McHale right into the hands of Rodman. And look how quickly he makes it.
Starks. Never have to get on him for not hustling. Oakley rejected by Rodman. Clip and save, that block by Dennis Rodman. That's as good as it gets.
So those were the highlights. Here are the numbers. Rodman measures in at 6'7", 210 pounds. He's worn a handful of different numbers of jerseys, so I'm just going to ask you guys this. Has he ever had the same number on 2 separate teams?
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no. Uriah?
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Ben?
Yeah, I think later in his career, either Dallas or Lakers.
Give Ben this, but know that he only got it out of a technicality because technically it was the Pistons and the Spurs with number 10. He's also worn 91 with the Bulls, 73 with the Lakers, and 70 with the Mavs.
Okay.
I remember those wacky numbers at the end. I forgot the Spurs.
Yes. So, anyway, let's get to it. So, I went with the 91-92 season for Rodman. He was 30 years old, and he averaged 9.8 points per game, 18.7 rebounds.
Wow. Woo.
Almost 3 rebounds better than Drummond.
Wow. 18?
18.7. Basically 19.
Wow.
2.3 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.9 blocks, 1.7 turnovers, 3 fouls per game while shooting. Now that's an interesting stat that I didn't realize before. So shooting 53.9% from the field. Get this, 31.7% on 1.2 3-pointers attempted per game. He was taking 3-pointers a game at that point.
Yeah.
And then he shot 60% from the foul line.
18 rebounds a game. He had a unique ability of getting to the ball quicker than anybody else, even against great rebounders like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. And this is before Lucas, he bulked up and became a Chicago Bull. So when he was with the Pistons, yes, he would run the break like a maniac and get dunks on the break from Isaiah Thomas. And he was just a high energy player. He always was. But when it came to rebounding, we were talking about this earlier. He had this really great way of anticipating where the ball would come off, where it would hit a certain part of the rim, and he would even recognize the type of spin that would give him an advantage once the ball came off. So the 18 rebounds is a shocker. I kind of remember that number, but until you said it, it kind of was in the back of my mind.
Would you believe me if I told you that was the first of 2 times that he averaged 18 rebounds per game?
You got the stats, so I gotta believe you. Was he with the Bulls the second time?
Nope. Pistons last year.
Pistons.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Very impressive.
I should also note that he led I think Drummond, I said, led the league in rebounding, 4 times? Did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rodman led the league in rebounding 7 years in a row.
He led the league in rebounding. Wow.
7 years in a row. From his last 2 years with the Pistons through his whole entire time with the Spurs and Bulls.
Jeez.
And that was like in his 30s. That wasn't even 20s.
Yeah, no, honestly, he only averaged over double-digit rebounds once in his 20s. His first 4 years playing, he didn't hit double-digit rebounds.
You know you're an impact player in the NBA when the opposing team's coach is like, keep Rodman off the boards at all costs. And I'm sure there were plenty of chalkboard discussions and speeches about that, but they couldn't keep him off the board. They called him the worm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just to give another perspective, I said Drummond's rebounds per game that season, offensive rebounds per game was 5.1, I believe. Rodman's was 6.4 offensive rebounds per game.
Difference maker.
Different.
It's interesting. I'm sure we all watched. If you guys didn't know, Duke lost to Houston last night as we're recording this. And it's interesting we're talking about Dennis Rodman because what they keep talking about is Houston's fitness, right? They keep talking about their mile. And as a runner, that is actually impressive that those guys are all running 5 minutes. It was kind of like Houston had a bunch of Dennis Rodmans where they just outworked this pretty much NBA team. I remember watching the Bulls and Rodman would just do that. He would get rebounds over Shaq. Yeah, Shaq. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was and like 6'7".
We say that Rodman is at least the most hustling player of all time.
Well, he embodies, like, I would say even more so because essentially he was battling with bigs, over 7 foot guys. Some guys would have almost 100 pounds on him. So he's essentially just like fit and he would outwork people. So I don't even know what just the hustle and the determination. Yeah. He had that mentality. Kind of, I would say Draymond has it the most of a current player with that mindset.
Undersized guy that can battle with the bigs.
Like how, like when Draymond defends like Jokic or Embiid well, you're like, how is that
he's
possible?
Their starting center
6'6". Yeah, he's 6'6".
Yeah. So anyways, some other interesting stats. So not only did he lead the NBA 7 seasons in a row in rebounds, he also led the league in field goal percentage his 3rd year in 88-89. He also, from 89 to 91, led the league in games played. And here's the crazy part. So after the Bulls, he only played 35 games total since he left the Bulls between the Lakers and the Mavericks. You want to know what he averaged per game for those 2 seasons at the ages of 37 and 38 rebounds-wise? I'm not going to give you the full stats, but just rebounds.
Yeah. Tell us.
With the Lakers in 28 minutes per game, he averaged 11.2 rebounds. With the Mavs in 32 minutes per game, he averaged 14.3 rebounds.
It was in his blood.
At 38 years old.
And he's an old man at that point. Yeah.
He started all 12 games. Now, personality, his personality, the way that he carried himself, my understanding was the reason why he did not stay with those teams for very long. But still,
I'll say this.
At 38 years old. Now, he couldn't score at all at that point. No. He was averaging 2 points per game pretty much during that time. But still, career stats, he averaged 7.3 points per game, 13.1 rebounds, so a whole rebound more than Drummond has. 1.8 assists. 0.7 steals, 0.6 blocks, 1.6 turnovers while shooting 52.1% from the field, 23.1% from the 3-point line, and 58.4% from the foul line.
Better free throw shooter than Drummond was. I'll say this. now I'm using The Last Dance as kind of a reference. The reason why Dennis Rodman's rebounding stats, were actually better in his 30s was because he was actually playing on kind of a stacked team with the Detroit Pistons, at least in their front court. Because he actually didn't even really start for the Detroit Pistons because they had Lambeer, Rick Mahorn, John Sally. All these guys are big guys who rebounded. So Rodman didn't really have to do a lot of rebounding. His defense as a whole was more essential on those Pistons teams than his actual rebounding. Rebounding became more important later on, but defensively he was a great defensive player, and I think that needs to be highlighted here because he was a really good defensive player.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's the distinction between Drummond and Rodman is the defense. And I'm sure Ben has a ton of awards that Rodman won to distinguish that. I'll say the 23% three-point shooting stands out because whether he was with the Bulls or whether he was with Detroit, whenever he would shoot a three-pointer or he would get the ball at the three-point line, the whole crowd would like pause and they get quiet and they're like, oh my God, he's going to shoot it. And he would shoot it, but then he would make one. He would always celebrate with the fist pump. Rodman was a fun player to watch. Annoying in the beginning as a Pistons player, but when he was with the Bulls, he was in his element.
I will also say this. Regardless of which team he was on, he never averaged below 11 rebounds per game.
That's an interesting
That's
stat.
impressive.
It really is.
I'm not going to say as a single season. I'm just saying with each team, like the Pistons was the second lowest at 11.5. The Lakers were the lowest at 11.2.
Oh, I see.
If you can give me a big now who could average 11 rebounds, I'll take him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The good rebounders now, thinking of Sabonis, they're good at like rebounding threes. So it's a little bit of a different IQ. There's these teams with all these guards that shoot threes, and just the way the league is, and you see it's a little bit different. But I think Rodman would probably average more rebounds now, even.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was athletic. He was fit. So he'd be able to...
Well, they would be asking him to take a lot more threes nowadays, too.
Yeah.
But
his form wasn't terrible. I don't know if you guys remember that. I think if the right coach had him, his form wasn't terrible.
Let's get into some other stuff. Unlike Drummond, he does have one triple-double for his career.
Really? Okay.
Yep. It happened in the first season with the Bulls. Besides that, he has, offensive rebound percentage for his career, 17.4, which is gold, which indicates all-time record. And then we get to the career stats, games highs. Over-under career high scoring of Drummond. Drummond had over-under
33.
or tied with Drummond's career high of scoring of 33.
I'll go Rodman. I can't see him scoring more than 33 because he was always like the fifth option on offense. I'll go under.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go over. I feel like there might have been a fluky, just Jordan and Pippen getting triple team. He just was open, like a fluky 34-point game.
A fluky 34-point game. I'm gonna go under.
I mean, he the best player of all time on his team. So it's like I feel like there was open opportunities.
Well, Ben, give yourself a pat on the back. You are correct.
Wow,
really?
Was I right? Was I right with the Bulls?
No, it was the Pistons. 90-91.
All right, 34. Okay.
That brings me to the real over-under. We had Drummond at 29 total rebounds as a career high. Was Rodman over, under, or tied?
It's got to be over. Got to be over. I go over.
Over.
Ben?
Yeah, over.
Maurice?
Over.
You are all correct. Points career high and his rebounds career high are actually tied at 34.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So then, offensive rebounds, he has a career high of 18 versus 15 with Drummond and 23 defensive rebounds versus 21 with Drummond. He did not attempt nearly as many foul shots. His career high in foul shots were only 12.
Okay.
Assists. He did have a 10-assist game, thus that triple-double that I talked about. He also had 4 steals, 5 blocks, 7 turnovers. Any takeaways from that?
I would think more blocks. I would expect more blocks because
he's only 6'7".
He was more of a stay in front of the opponent's best shooting guard, small forward. He was a nuisance. He would literally be in the jersey of the opponent. I think it was Maurice that said he would play mind games and do whatever it took to disrupt a player's flow. So I would think he had more blocks, but as long as he stayed in front of his opponent and caused a turnover, I think that's what counted most with that guy.
Yeah, what stands out to me is the iteration of him with Isaiah Thomas. He averaged more points, and that was a 34-point game. So obviously one of the best point guards of all time. So there's more playmaking, kind of thinking about that version of Rodman. Dennis Rodman in his prime, on his kind of like, maybe if he had a coach who wanted more offense from him, you kind of see this more with like a Draymond, he probably would have averaged like 18 points. I think he had the capability to do that, but his IQ was so high, similar to Draymond. He's like, no, I just want to win. And that's why he's been to so many NBA finals.
He only averaged double digits in one season.
No, but I'm saying it's similar to, like, you know how Draymond one year was like, I'm going to average 15 points, and then he did? It's similar to that in a way where I feel like Rodman had the IQ to do it. He just like chose not to. And that might be a big difference with him and Drummond. I think Drummond really kind of reached his potential with offense.
Okay.
Something you just mentioned, and we have to keep in mind. Dennis Rodman was 6'7". The fact that he could do all that rebounding at a pace and a consistency that's in his mid to late 30s is really remarkable.
And Maurice, 210. 210's not big.
Yeah.
Like that's like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, so when
like, what's LeBron? 230?
Yeah.
What's LeBron?
Yeah.
230, 240.
LeBron is bigger than Dennis Rodman.
I got a feeling though, when he was with the Bulls, he was more than 210, man. He had to be more than 210.
He was more toned.
He was jacked.
He was toned.
220, yeah.
220. Maybe
I don't know. I think it was more of a body fat thing.
Would
I
he
think
have been a small ball 5 in today's game, or would he still have been a 4?
Small ball 5.
They would have played him they would have played him small ball 5. He would have shot probably like 3 to 4 threes a game. It would have been like how they played Draymond, except the playmaking.
Well, I mean, he had some playmaking skills. Anyway, so for all-time stats, real quick, total rebounds with 11,954. He's 24th all-time. Rebounds per game at 13.1 all-time. He is 11th. Offensive rebounds, with 4,329, he is 5th all-time. And defensive rebounds with 7,625, he is 23rd all-time.
That 5th all-time offensive rebounds, that stands out. I do think all-time, I thought he would be higher than 24th. But I'm sure there are a lot of great rebounders from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that probably had more opportunities to get rebounds.
And think about it like this. Rodman didn't start playing in the NBA until he was 25, played only until he was 39, and he didn't start averaging double-digit rebounds until his 5th season.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So
he had a late start.
He had a late start.
He didn't play. He was on a super team earlier in his career. And so he just didn't play. He was on a team with so many forwards. So I think it was more opportunity. But also, we haven't mentioned this. And I think it's important to the training he had with those bigs. We talk about how Charles Barkley had, Moses Malone as a mentor early in his career. Rodman had Lambeer. He had John Sally. He had Mahorn.
Well, that's all that I have. We can go ahead and go to accolades for Ben, which is going to be interesting here.
All right.
Third quarter, accolades.
All year long, you've been turning in double-doubles for the Pistons, 39 of them this year, but nothing quite on the stage you did tonight. I mean, what was it like out there, and how were you able to dominate this game?
Man, the energy was great out there. My teammates, we had one mindset, and that's to win the game. And my mindset was to play as hard as I can and, do great things out there.
That's what people like to see, obviously, to showcase the points with 30. But a new record for this Rising Charge Challenge with 25 rebounds. When you think of all the great players who have been here before you, what does that mean? 25 boards. There weren't many missed shots either.
I went after every rebound. I told my teammates today that just get out of my way. I'm going for all the rebounds.
All right, that is Andre Drummond getting the rebounding record for the Rising Stars. And I imagine he was the MVP of the Rising Stars game. I don't really see it on.
Yeah, they interviewed him.
I think,
yeah, so
for anyone who doesn't know, Rising Stars is rookies versus sophomores. Drummond was kind of right away an impact in the league. Again, he fell to 9 in kind of a weak draft. And I remember it being a weak draft, like in real time. People weren't very, high on it. He fell to 9, kind of with what Uriah said. And you see it a little bit you don't really see it too much in his NBA, but 24 points one game, then 1 point the next game. And I remember him falling to 9 was kind of a surprise because that UConn team was pretty good. How many times did Andre Drummond make the All-Star game? Now, remember, we talked about the bigs that we have now had not really been formed. So Drummond was kind of in between that Dwight Howard, Jokic, Embiid era.
Right.
He's right in the middle of it. So he kind of was the guy. I remember even like Whiteside had they thought he was going to be the next big thing.
And Whiteside was good. I'm going to defend him on that one.
No, I'm just saying this was kind of a 5-year period that was a bit weaker on the offensive stretch.
I mean, you still had like DeMarcus Cousins, prime DeMarcus Cousins.
Right, but my point is like Jokic and Embiid are like it's these
another level.
15 and 8, 16.
On another level.
We hadn't reached that yet, and I think Vucevic was in this category, this camp. So
Vucevic, Drummond, DeMarcus Cousins was the best big in the league.
It was
from
DeMarcus,
2012.
It was DeMarcus, and then Anthony Davis was playing center.
No, he was playing power forward at the beginning.
Yeah, I think he was center a few seasons.
Well, anyway,
Anyway, how many times did Andre Drummond make an All-Star team? With that said, I'm going to start off with Maurice.
Once.
Okay. Uriah.
Twice.
Lucas.
I'm not going to sing 3. I'm going to say 2 as well.
Come on, you're supposed to jump in there.
No, because I know 2 is the correct answer.
Okay.
So the Uriah and Lucas, you guys are correct. It was 2.
Also, we forgot about Marcus Gasol and Joakim Noah. Anyway, sorry.
In 2016 and 2018, he was 2016 was his 3rd season in the league, and he kind of arrived. Lucas already went through the stats of that season, which was 15 and 16, and I believe he did. I think Detroit was a playoff team a few of the years he was there.
I think he took them to the playoffs twice.
Yeah. So he was their best player, and they didn't really have a great squad.
Well, they built so poorly around him. That's the other thing we got to remember. They had a triple big lineup with Josh Smith, who could not shoot. You had Greg Monroe, who was a age, like a dinosaur power forward in that era, still playing power forward instead of center, like he should have.
That's right.
And then you had Drummond, and then you had young Reggie Jackson trying to prove something, and I don't know who the shooting guard was.
Well, Detroit has since drafted very well.
Yes.
They've done a good job.
Very, very well. So 2016 and 2018, he was an NBA All-Star. And did he ever make an All-NBA team? Think about the bigs we just mentioned.
Yes.
Did he ever make one?
He made an third-team All-NBA. I just don't know which season.
Yeah, I think he's made at least.
What do you guys think?
At least one. I'd say one.
Yeah, you guys are all correct. It was that 2016 season. So Drummond was 18 years old when he got drafted. I don't know if you guys knew that. So he was very young. He was very young.
That's another stark contrast between him and Rodman.
Yeah, Rodman was like 24. Yeah, 18. So Drummond was at 22 years old because he has a later birthday. His birthday is in August. At 22, Drummond was an All-NBA center. Think about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crazy.
He was he led the league in rebounding. This is 2016. You have to think. He led Detroit to the playoffs. He led the league in rebounding, averaging 16 rebounds a game. It's like Rodman numbers. And he was an all-star. Oh, so Drummond was kind of the guy, obviously DeMarcus Cousins, but you kind of were like, oh, this guy's going to be huge. Right. This guy's going to be a big, big deal. So at 26, 22, he was kind of dominating right away in the league.
I just want to put to note here, there's a similarity. I'm going to pull up football for a second here. The quarterbacks and the centers from the early 2000s did not age well. You think of about like 2010s. You think about like Cam Newton, Andy Dalton, Andrew Luck, RG3. Those guys did not have long careers. Same thing with the centers from the early 2010s. You think with Brook Lopez being the lone exception.
Well, what Brook Lopez had learned how to shoot.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing with Drummond was maybe not that he changed so much, but the league changed around him.
Well, he never, like I said at the beginning of the pod, he admitted that he did not improve his game after he got that first contract. And the other thing is that Drummond, for all of his great interior defense, is a liability when it comes to being able to switch on the perimeter. He cannot do it.
And the thing about Drummond is he feels big because he weighs a lot, but he's listed at 6'11". He feels more 6'10" on the court. I just think he came in this in-between era because Steph Curry, the Warriors team changed the way you play big.
Changed the geometry of the court. Yeah, there we go, Uriah. There's another geometry.
Geography. That's your thing.
Bigs have to you have to even thinking about like a Vucevic or a Zubac, like they have to be able to shoot. Like they have to be able to pass an elite way.
Well, Drummond did average 3 assists in one season. Just saying, he can pass, but he also makes some boneheaded turnovers sometimes too.
So Drummond was also an All-Star in 2018. How many times, we mentioned this already, but see if you guys, how good your memory is. Lucas, you're going to go last. How many times, over-under, NBA rebounding leader, 3 for Andre Drummond? How many times did he lead? Was it 3?
It was 4.
Well,
I think you mentioned 4.
I think Lucas mentioned this earlier. Yeah, he mentioned it.
4, right?
You guys remembered. You guys are correct. It's 4. Yeah. So in 2016, and then he led the league 3 years in a row. 2018, 2019, and 2020. So he was the All-NBA rookie second team in 2013, and he was Big East All-Freshman team in 2012. I'm kind of surprised he didn't make Big East, I guess, the scoring. I don't know the other centers of that era.
Well, freshmen don't usually get that, right? We've talked about that. Freshmen.
It wasn't like he was putting up gaudy numbers either.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, though. He's played in the FIBA World Cup in 2014. I actually would have picked him earlier in his career to be on in 2016. I actually would have picked him to be on an Olympic team like that year. Given how
that wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah, like that 2016 Olympic team, I would have picked him probably personally, just because I think he was in his prime and they could have used the rebound.
Maybe the Olympic team saw that. Like I said, he could never defend the perimeter, and big men in Europe were starting to shoot. So
that's
keep
true.
that in mind, too. And also, they probably wanted a more veteran guy. Like you said, he was, like 22 at the time? Pretty young to be on an Olympic team.
Yeah, those older vets, they get the nod just because they paid their dues, and Drummond was so young.
That's about it for Drummond. He's still in his NBA career, but it's clearly on the downward spiral, given that with Drummond, and a little bit different than Drummond uses his size and his athleticism to rebound. He does have high IQ, obviously, whereas Rodman's a little bit more fitness and IQ. So Drummond, as he's gotten into his 30s, you just see that.
Well, like I said,
really caught up to him.
He weighed in at 279 this season. That's not a 279. I mean, that's what it says on Basketball Reference. That's way above his playing weight that he should be at.
Rodman had springs in his legs, and he was high energy. Rodman would actually get on the treadmill after the game. So the Bulls would play. He would go and he would run on the treadmill for an hour or so.
Obviously, it takes IQ to rebound. It's a different type of NBA skill, basketball skill, but the way these guys rebound is slightly different. They're putting out the same number.
Drummond throws his weight around. Rodman uses more of his quickness.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I'm going to start with Lucas. What stands out to you?
I know part of the reason why he didn't get as many All-Star nods was because of team success, because the Pistons were, for all intents and purposes, trashed in the 2010s. Let's be real. Except out of like one or two runs from Drummond and 1 or 2 runs from Blake Griffin, they were pretty horrendous. And so that's part of the reason. But like you look at it, I mean, like, has anybody else in the past 15 years? I mean, I'm sure there's like one or two other guys, but like consistently averaged over like 13 rebounds a game. I'm sure you might be able to throw Sabonis out for 1 year, maybe Dwight for a year, or I don't know who else though. Like, but this guy at his peak, 24 years old is when it started going downhill for him. And like I said, he admitted to it. He got the payday and he thought that was it. And some guys that happens to. But imagine if he had actually kept up with it. Like, yeah, he actually improved his defense, like his ability to slide on the perimeter. He stopped making the boneheaded passes. He improved his passing IQ, right? He could have been the centerpiece. He could still be the starting center on the Pistons, and maybe they would have been better off for it,
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, it's tough to say because he also was the franchise wasn't.
They weren't going to go anywhere with him.
Yeah, they weren't building around him. They also weren't a destination for free agents like they are now.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is about the NBA is my buddy's a Pistons fan, and I'm like, bro, you've had because we know this. When you tank so many years in a row, if you get this, we're seeing this with the Houston Rockets now. If you keep getting 5-6 years in a row, top 10, top 5 draft picks, you're gonna hit. Statistically, you're gonna hit on all-stars, and
unless you're Philadelphia
or the Sacramento Kings
or the Kings.
Yeah, but the Sixers have been 7 years in a row, like 50. Like other teams would kill to beat. Yeah, no, yeah. I think we're the championship or bust mentality. The grass is always greener.
Yeah. So let me just throw some light on Drummond's rebounding titles. I think celebrating his skill, even though he didn't maximize his potential and he rested on his laurels, to lead the league in rebounding, to lead the NBA in any category, assists, rebounds, free throw percentage, you name it. It takes dedication. It does take effort. And obviously he developed skill enough so he could perfect that part of his craft. So I just want to shine some light on that aspect of his career. Leading the league in rebounds 4 years in a row is a tremendous accomplishment.
Yeah.
And let me ask you guys this. I know he doesn't have all the accolades, but do you think when all's said and done, does Drummond have he's not going to be a first ballot, but do you think he has a chance to get into the Hall of Fame?
Good question.
No, not at all. Not enough.
Wow.
Not at all. No, not with one All NBA third team.
No. But we're talking about all-time stats with the rebounds here, guys. We're not just talking about the accolades. We're talking about where
not enough playoffs. No, there's just not enough playoffs. No,
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would make a case for it.
But with that said, though, Andre Drummond, like we said in the intro, he has said that he's the greatest rebounder of all time.
He did say that.
He did say that.
He has said that.
Now, we're making a case here. We're comparing.
Well, you guys can decide.
Yeah, so I'll throw it out to all the listeners. Let us know on social media. Is Andre Drummond the greatest rebounder of all time? And if not, who?
No, I mean, we literally, Lucas just said that Dennis Rodman averaged 18.7 rebounds in it for 80. He played all 82 games. It's not even a compare. And then he averaged 18 another year.
To be fair to Drummond, in terms of that, errors do matter because you had seasons where Wilt and Bill Russell averaged over 20 rebounds per game. So let's
Nate
say
Thurman,
Nate Thurman, there are guys that averaged over 20 rebounds a game in a single season.
Actually,
so era does matter.
Actually, that kind of does make Ben's case even more, because if you put Dennis Rodman in today's game with how many shots they take now, he might have 30 rebounds.
Well, and that's the other thing.
Point.
But here's my counter argument. Despite only averaging maybe 15 to 18 minutes per game in the last 4 seasons, and I'm just rough estimating here, the guy's still averaging 8 or 9 rebounds a game during that time span.
If he played anywhere close to 35, 36 minutes, Dennis Rodman would have about 20 to 25 rebounds in today's game. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a poll question.
Okay.
And those teams in the 80s and 90s, they would eat shot clock.
Yeah.
These days, they'll shoot it under 10 seconds.
80 point games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's way less. I mean, the efficiency was less with. I mean, no, it wasn't but yeah, there wasn't an 8-second rule.
But Drummond is also fighting the fact that there are longer rebounds, so there's less short rebounds for him to get inside the paint.
Rodman is lanky enough to get those long rebounds.
Rodman's ability and kind of athleticism and speed and fitness would most likely translate to more rebounds.
Wait a second. We're not supposed to be debating who's who in this podcast. True. You're right. You're gonna have to cut all this out.
I have a suggestion. This summer, I think Maurice and I have decided that we're going to play some NBA 2K, and we'll play Rodman in the current NBA rosters.
Okay,
and we'll settle it in a video game.
Yeah, we'll settle it then.
Rodman versus
probably the closest
simulation.
Yeah, but we're not supposed to be arguing amongst ourselves. That's not what we're supposed to be doing.
That's it for Drummond. Let's move on to what most people think is the greatest rebounder of all time, Dennis Rodman.
Bad. Shame on you.
The Knicks series has become a celebration of Piston intensity. And appropriately, it would also provide the forum for honoring the player who most embodies this spirit. Masterlock Defensive Player of the Year, Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman's big thing is, I don't need any help. Let me just handle them by myself. And that's the pride he has in defense.
For Rodman, his dedication had been well worth it.
I'd like to thank set yourself out to accomplish a goal, and all of a sudden you achieve it, no matter what it is, I promised myself I wouldn't break down if I were to avoid, but it hit me, and it was a great feeling for me.
I wanted this one so bad.
All right.
But awaiting Rodman and his teammates in the conference finals was the ultimate challenge to their defensive mastery.
Okay, first, before anybody goes, that sounded like that at the beginning of that like beat music sounded like one of those romantic like da 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 da. That's what it sounded like to me. That's why I made the face.
I'm telling you, we have to watch. We all have to. We're gonna do a movie comparison, but we do have to watch that iconic. The music is reminding me of like the NBA with all the players and the songs. What the hell's it called?
Yeah,
NBA Superstars or something.
Superstars of the 80s.
Yeah.
God, that was good, man. Was Barkley Take My Breath Away? I think he was.
And he was singing it?
No.
So what it was is they took an iconic song from like the 80s, Lucas, and they paired it like a music video with highlights of that
That's
player.
Weird. That's weird.
It was amazing though.
But Charles Barkley would take my breath away.
I think Jordan.
He was.
I think Jordan was the song from Top Gun.
Yeah,
it was Jordan. Yeah,
and
okay,
Bird,
makes sense.
Bird had a good song too. All right, so let's get this started. He's gonna have a lot more accolades.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start off with one. That will kind of give us an idea of how separate he is from Andre Drummond. He is on the NBA 75th anniversary team. So just to give you an idea of levels. But we're focusing on the rebounding, and that is how elite Andre Drummond was. Like, as we said, he led the league 4 years in rebounding. That's not many guys have that. So, all right. How many times did Dennis Rodman win an NBA championship? Remember, he did not. It was not only the Chicago Bulls. So, and he was only on the second iteration of the Bulls. Not the first three-peat.
Right.
He won 5.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cinco.
All right. Everyone's in agreement with that? That is correct.
Yeah,
2. He won 5. Yeah.
2 with the bad boys.
2 with the bad boys, 89 and 90, and 3 years in a row, 96 to 98 with Chicago Bulls. 5-time NBA champion.
He was a year off with the Lakers, too.
Yeah. I've got a question. How many times did Dennis Rodman ever make the All-Star team?
Ooh.
How many times?
That's a good question.
Yes, he did. I don't know how many times, but he did. I want to say 2 or 3.
Okay, and with what teams though?
Definitely the Bulls.
Okay,
so
not the Spurs.
I think it was Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
I'm gonna say
3. 2 with the Bulls, 1 with Detroit.
I'm going to say...
No, inverse that.
Okay. So, 2. You said 2 with the Bulls, 1 with the Pistons?
I mean the inverse, that he made 2 with the Pistons, 1 with the Bulls.
All right, so I'm gonna go 2, both with the Pistons.
I like that. I'll go 2 with the Pistons too.
All right, so you guys are correct. It is 2 times with the Detroit Pistons. And Lucas, it's that the 92 season was that crazy season where he averaged pretty much 10 and 19.
Well, that's why I said 2 with the Pistons. And I swore he got 1 in with the Bulls. Did he not?
No, believe it or not. And then what's wild is, so I'm going to tell you, because he's got a big resume, I'll just tell you. So this is what's crazier. We talk about this new 65 game rule, which I think is BS, because Jalen Brunson, to give an example, Luka and Jalen Brunson won't be on it this year, to name a few, because they won't meet this 65 game criteria. So he was a 2-time NBA All-Star, both with the Pistons. This is what's wild. He was on the All-NBA third team in 95 with the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
So he was on the Spurs with the iteration of David Robinson that was winning 50 win games, and then they tanked because everyone got hurt. And then Rodman left in free agency the year before, and then they just decided to kind of do with what some teams are doing now, not to name. They threw in the towel to go for the number 1 pick. But this is what's crazy. Guess how many games he played that 95 season?
With the Spurs?
Yeah, so he got All-NBA third team. Guess how many games he played? 94, 95.
45?
I'm going to say 82.
I'm going to say 82 as well.
Lucas, you're really close. 49.
Ooh.
49.
He gave us a big hint.
He got All-NBA with only playing 49 games.
Oh, I see. Okay. Dude, imagine if the Spurs...
That's how good he was.
Imagine if he didn't go to Chicago and the Spurs had David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Dennis Rodman. Could you imagine?
Well, they wouldn't have lost enough games if they kept David Rodman.
Okay.
They're doing... you can edit this out, you're right, but we have to talk about the comparison of what we're doing right now with what that 96 team did. But they shut guys down. Mm-hmm. So, it was... Robinson went out with a really bad knee injury. Rodman had left already a year prior. So he had been gone, but had he stayed, you're right, they wouldn't have gotten... The only reason they got Tim Duncan was they decided to shut people down because Sean Elliott and David Robinson were bad, so they just tanked. Which is kind of what teams are doing right now. So, because the prize was Tim Duncan, and then Keith Van Horn was supposed to be the next coming of Larry Bird, and he was kind of a bust.
That's right. Keith
All
Van
right,
Horn.
so never an all-star, all-NBA player with the Bulls, but here we go. This is where he shines. How many times was Dennis Rodman an all-NBA defensive team player?
Oh gosh. Probably let's see, he played 13 years. I'm going to say he made all defensive team at least 8.
Okay.
Sure you're not looking at a screen over there, buddy?
Chromebook's closed.
Okay. I'm going to go 9.
All right, Lucas went 8. You're right with 9. I'm going to go 7.
So... It's 7 all first team. Lucas is correct though. It's 8 all NBA defensive teams. He was second team in 94, but he was 4 all NBA first teams, 89 to 93.
Wow.
95 and then 96. So 96 was the sole. I don't know if he didn't play that many regular season. He must have not played that many regulars. No, because he was the rebounding champ. So I think what happened is with Pippen and Jordan and just that team, he in the regular season, he just wasn't really...
I mean, you could make the argument that he was the third best defender on that team.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That part. So I think that's what it is. So he really didn't get the accolades on that team.
So you would go Bill Wennington, Steve Kerr, and
Ron Harper.
Dennis Rodman.
Harper. Actually, Ron Harper could defend, so don't.
No, you're thinking Jordan Pippen, right?
Yeah,
Lucas?
Jordan Pippen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So what was I going to say? Is there any other awards?
Yeah, there's a lot more.
Oh gosh.
Well, the rebounding champion.
Yeah. We got.
So
I think I covered
7 years in a row, 92 to 98. And what's crazy about that is he did it with 3 different teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of wild. Like he was a rebounding champ a couple years with every different team he played for. So it wasn't even a system thing because he was playing with David Robinson in his prime. He played with David Robinson during his David Robinson's MVP era.
Yeah, that's right.
This guy played with a lot of MVPs. That's something to consider. Like he played with
Isaiah,
David Robinson in his prime, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. I mean, it's pretty wild. I mean, everywhere he went, he affected winning. His number 10 jersey was retired by the Pistons. Interesting college stat. He was an NIIA All-American 3 years in a row. All right, that's it for the most important one.
I was waiting for that. Yeah.
How many times was he the Defensive Player of the Year?
I'm gonna go with.
It's more than one. I'll give you a hint. It's more than one.
I think it's Dose.
Yeah, 2 or 3. I'll go with 2.
2 as well.
All right, you guys are all correct. It's 2.
Yay.
Both. This is both with the Pistons. So I feel like I need to watch more tape on Pistons Pistons Dennis Rodman because
I didn't really know. I only know Dennis from the Bulls. I don't really know Dennis from any other team.
Defensively, Rodman was a menace on the Pistons team.
I mean that 10 and 19 season with playing 82 games is just crazy.
You gotta keep it.
So
I'm sorry, Ben. You got to keep in mind.
Do you think Wemby will be able to average? Like he's the only guy I could think of that will be able to average that many rebounds.
I don't think Wemby's really that type of guy that would want to average. I think of today's players, Sabonis is going to be the closest
because of the IQ. Yeah.
Well, just not just that. It's just the wherewithal and the fact that you want to be hungry for those types of rebounds. But honestly, there's not any current players that I think will even get close to Drummond's number, to be honest.
Yeah, 19's crazy. So he's 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. So before I asked you guys, it's pretty obvious what separates these two, the defense.
Yeah.
People sleep on. Some people actually think Dennis Rodman is a better defender than he is a rebounder. That's he's remembered more for his defense than his rebounding. So
yeah, I can see that.
All right. Uriah, what stands out to you with Dennis Rodman?
What stands out is when I was in 8th grade, the
you mean Pistons, when dinosaurs roamed?
Anyway, I'm going to ignore that. The Pistons were always in the playoffs. They couldn't get past Boston. And I remember in 8th grade, Alicia Glover would say, I hate Dennis Rodman. He's annoying.
Who's Alicia Grover?
I don't know. Just one of my former classmates.
The random people remember. Yeah.
Don't ask me, Lucas, why I remember Alicia Glover.
Shout out Alicia Glover.
Alicia Glover. I went to school at Greenfield on Chestnut Street, and those were just good times. And I was a big Pistons fan, mainly because of Isaiah Thomas. But Dennis Rodman was a menace. He was a nuisance. He was as good a defender as he was a rebounder, Ben, like you were alluding to. And I think that he will go down in history as one of the greatest rebounders, even though his ranking in all-time rebounds is not what we would assume it to be. But yeah, he was just a fun player to watch. And that clip that Maurice found when he got emotional, Dennis is a very emotional guy.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen plenty of interviews where he breaks down and cries. And he's been through a lot. Like you heard his bio. And for him to earn that award when he said he wanted to earn it so bad shows you the commitment that brought him that accolade.
Not to bring up, but during college I used to watch Celeb Reality. I don't know if we all watched that. And he was on that maybe 1 or 2 times. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
Yeah.
Right. Growing up, you were a Pistons fan?
I was a Sixers fan, but then,
they weren't that good.
Sixers got knocked out the playoffs. You're still watching NBA basketball.
Rooting for the best team. Oh, okay.
I mean, who are y'all rooting for?
A bandwagoner as a kid.
I was a 49ers fan too. So late on.
Bandwagoner. Okay.
Yeah. Who are we all cheering for this year? Because it's been 9 years since we haven't been. Who are we finally rooting? I'm kind of rooting for I think I'm rooting for the Thunder.
I like the Thunder.
I'm rooting for them.
I can't root for the Thunder. No. Let's see. Who am I rooting for this year? That's a good question.
it's pretty obvious Michael Jordan brought eyes on Dennis Rodman as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting going through these kind of stats that we weren't really focused on Pistons because people weren't as focused on the Pistons. And so I think, but it's pretty obvious that was his prime.
Yeah.
So, Maurice, what stands out to you?
What stands out to me is the fact that Dennis Rodman, I got to go back to the defense. Like, he was guarding, just like we heard in that clip, Michael Jordan. He was guarding Scottie Pippen. He was guarding Larry Bird. He was guarding Magic Johnson, James Worthy. He was guarding the superstars of the league at that time in the championship rounds. And he held his own. And for a dude that's 6'7", 210, that's really impressive, man. I agree with you, Ben. Dennis Rodman should be known more for his defense than his rebounding. The rebounding is just more highlighted, but defensively, he was one of a kind. That is the difference in this comparison. But his defense was superb.
That's a great point. Great point.
I think a defensive comparison, which is really, if this is a good rebounding, would be Draymond. The being able to guard 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm. That's
it's
true.
Just what Dennis is known for.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, what stands out to you?
Kind of the lack of all-star appearances.
Yeah.
Back then, they awarded defense and rebounding a lot more than they do now in the all-star votes, so it's kind of surprising. But on the other hand, his off-the-court personality, on and off-court personality probably did not help him in that regard.
Yeah. Was the forward position in the 80s too competitive?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Well, there was a point where
Larry Bird, obviously.
Well, Sean Kemp came over to Cleveland in the mid '80s, so that took up a spot.
He came in the mid '90s.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Mid '90s. You're right.
Well, I mean, you had Dominique, right? You had Dominique. You had
Larry Bird,
but only for the beginning parts. By the time Rodman got into like averaging like all that he did.
Oh, you guys, Charles Barkley took all of his spots.
Yeah.
Well, Charles in the early '90s, Barkley was in the Western Conference in the late '90s.
No, you guys. When Dennis Rodman was in his prime, so was Charles Barkley. They both were in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
Barkley was in the East till '92.
Well, the other thing is, look at his teammates in Detroit. You still had Lambeer, you still had Joe Dumars, you still had Isaiah Thomas. They probably took up some spots too.
I think you just named 3 guys, Lucas. That's why. It's Dominique, it's Larry Bird, and it's Charles Barkley. We're all in the Eastern Conference during the late '80s and early '90s. So they weren't going to vote for Dennis Rodman.
And he had other teammates that were all-star worthy candidates too. So,
well, don't forget, even when he went to the Bulls Eastern Conference, when Barkley was in the West at that point, Larry Johnson came in, and he was a really popular player. Yeah. So he probably took that power forward spot from Rodman.
Grant Hill was a small forward. You're right.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move on to teammates.
Let's do it, man.
Fourth quarter, teammates.
As far as Dre, I mean, he's a monster. I mean, you'll look up at the end of the first quarter, and he'll have 12 and 10. When he's locked in, when he's committed, his hands are great. Pick and roll. He gets a lot of steals. Can go up and finish lobs and protect the rim a little bit. So, like I said, he's a big piece for us.
So that was Blake Griffin talking about his teammate at the time, Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond was...
They were on this... Oh, yeah, they were on the same team together. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think you mentioned it earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, no, Lucas, when I went through the playoffs, I was like, oh, yeah, he played a lot of playoff games for the Nets. I remember that, yeah.
Andre Drummond was drafted with the 9th pick in the 2012 NBA draft by the Detroit Pistons. Let's get into his rookie season with the Pistons. This Pistons team was not good. They were really bad. They were.
You had go ahead.
They were 29 and 53. Their coach was Lawrence Frank.
Oh gosh, yes. Okay.
And their executive was Joe Dumars.
Yeah, he was still the exec at the time. Yep.
So let's get into some of his teammates. This is Lucas' era, so he'll know some of these guys. Jose Calderon.
Oh, yeah. Jose. Yep.
Will Bynum.
That's at the end of his career. Oh, gosh. Will Bynum. Yep.
Brandon Knight.
Young Brandon Knight.
Second year.
Brandon Knight was good
out
for
of Kentucky.
Yeah, he was good for a hot minute.
Yeah. Do we know real quick? Do you remember what Brandon Knight is most known for?
Getting dunked on by DeAndre Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah, Brandon Knight was he was supposed to be really good. I remember he had a couple good years.
He was good for a couple of years, but then he had a tragic knee injury in Phoenix, and that kind of derailed him.
Was Maurice was Brandon Jennings on this team?
No,
or was he gone by then? He was gone.
No. You traded Knight for Jennings in like a year or two after this.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah.
That's a shame. We know Brandon Knight for that. Chris Paul really set him up for something.
Yes.
Corey Maggette.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
I didn't realize Corey was still in the league at that point. Okay.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that he played that long.
Here's a name we forget. Chris Middleton.
Yes, he was. He was on that team.
He was drafted.
He was drafted by the Pistons. Yeah.
Second round pick.
Yep. Great.
Was he in that? I think he was in that draft.
He wasn't
right?
in that draft. He was in the second round with Draymond as well.
Imagine if they would have kicked Chris Middleton.
Oh, Lucas, that's the guy. Is it Draymond? Was in the 2012 draft?
Yeah, second round. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Greg Monroe.
Yep.
Tayshaun Prince. He was still there.
Yep, he was still on the team. Yep.
Yeah. Rodney Stuckey and Charlie Villanueva.
Gosh, I remember when they said, "Oh, Rodney Stuckey's going to replace Chauncey in our starting five."
That is. They were tanking.
That was a big no. They made the Chauncey trade for AI with the idea that eventually, that Rodney Stuckey was going to be the heir apparent.
Yep.
And that
this roster was tanking.
Well, wasn't Ben Wallace on this? Yeah, wasn't Ben Wallace on this roster?
No, he was not. No.
Oh, okay.
No. Ben Wallace did come back to Detroit to finish his career, but I don't know. It wasn't that year.
I just remember the Pistons and the Knicks, man. They missed on every lottery pick. Do you remember that?
In the 20 teens? Yeah.
Man. They, like the Kevin Knox 7th pick, like they just missed on every...
I liked Kevin Knox. I just don't think they developed him right.
No, I mean anyone would have drafted him with his college, resume, but no, it's weird. The Pistons and the Knicks in that era just could not get it right.
And technically Kevin Knox is now on the Warriors on a
Still getting the check. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to 2 years later.
Oh, gosh.
To the 2015-2016 Detroit Pistons. Now,
okay,
I picked this year only because this was the most wins Andre Drummond got with the Pistons. And the record was 44-38. That was the most wins he had with the Pistons.
Yep.
Their coach and executive was Stan Van Gundy.
I remember that.
And some of his teammates were Joel Anthony.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's just Joel Anthony.
Oh, Joel.
They didn't call him Joel.
Aaron Baines.
Yep.
Okay.
Steve Blake.
Remember him? Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was good. Man.
He was a firecracker.
Reggie Bullock.
He was good.
Oh, yeah, Reggie. He was young back then.
Third year. Contavious Caldwell Pope.
He was a rookie that year, right?
They actually had some good talent on the team.
He was another lottery pick, yeah.
They thought he was going to be like the next Dwayne Wade, but I mean, D3 guys still pretty good.
Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yep,
this is not a bad team.
He was undrafted.
Tobias Harris.
He was undrafted. Yes, young Tobias.
I think he was a second round pick, Lucas, but he was like late second. Spencer.
Ersan Ilyasova.
Hey, Ersan, there we go.
Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
Brandon Jennings.
Young Reggie. Yep.
Yeah, they had some good young guards.
Yeah, a lot of good guards. Too many good guards.
Yeah, they had a lot of good guards. Yeah.
Stanley Johnson. I thought Stanley Johnson was going to be a good player.
Yeah, another lottery top 10 pick. Yeah.
Just another miss there.
Jody Meeks.
Hey, there you go.
Marcus Morris.
Young Marcus Morris.
He was good.
And Anthony Tolliver.
Oh, yeah, he was a 3-point shooting power forward. He was like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
3-point.
Yeah, so...
Was Jonas Jerebko on that team? I could have sworn he was on that team.
No.
Okay.
No. They had some good guards on that team.
I mean, they made the playoffs, so they clearly had some talent.
They had some talent. It's just that, LeBron was dominating the East at that point, so like...
Right.
All right, so let me ask you guys this question. And I could actually ask this question because he wasn't the best player. He was never the best player on the teams, but skill wise anyway. Who was the perfect role player to play with Andre Drummond so far in his career?
Role player. Are you saying role player or just any
player?
I'm going to say the player that unlocked him the most was him and Reggie Jackson. That pick and roll was pretty dynamic.
That's who I was going to say, Reggie, because Reggie came from, I don't know if you guys remember. Yeah, he was in that like OKC where like back in the day, it's funny, the current OKC is kind of the same. Everyone they developed just like, or drafted, just like they hit on everyone, and then they just couldn't. The issue is they kept hitting on dudes, they couldn't pay them.
And Reggie wanted to start too.
Reggie wanted to start, and I remember he was putting up numbers. He was really good.
He was a solid, he was like 17-8 type of guy.
And then obviously we saw what he could do in that when the Clippers made the conference finals. He was a big part of that.
Well, the problem with Reggie in his Detroit Pistons day wasn't his play, it was his health. He could not stay healthy during those runs. That's why they struggled so much, because nobody besides Drummond was healthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this then. Going off of that, who won the most games with Andre Drummond? He's a teammate.
All time or just in Detroit?
Well, just in Detroit, but that was the all-time.
I'm trying to
I said his name, so.
I mean, it can't be Reggie because he missed too many games.
I feel like it might be.
Nah.
Because not KCP.
Tobias Harris?
Yeah, give me a final answer. You can't throw names out.
I'm going to go KCP, actually. I feel like he was sneakily on there like longer than we think.
And what's your final answer?
I'm going to say Tobias.
All right, so actually both of you are wrong.
Okay.
It is Reggie Jackson.
Oh.
Okay. That was going to be my first. I thought we were just talking about Reggie too much.
This is crazy because Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond played 7 seasons together. And actually, this current season, they're on the same team, Sixers.
Yeah.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope was number 2. And they played 5 seasons together. So 2 less seasons.
Okay.
All right.
Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond have 148 wins together. They played more games together, but for whatever reason, he's won 2 more with Reggie Jackson. But Contavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, in 5 seasons.
Well, like I said, Reggie was injured for his big chunks of his time with the Pistons.
So, games played together, KCP and Drummond, 341. Drummond and Reggie Jackson, 309. So I'm going to move on a little bit. And I'm going to highlight 2 more teams because Andre Drummond really became a journeyman after the Pistons run. Cleveland, Lakers, Bulls, Sixers. But I am going to highlight the 2020-2021 Los Angeles Lakers. This was after the Bubble Championship. So their record was 42-30. Coached by Frank Vogel. Their executive was Rob Pelinka. And some of their teammates were Contavious Caldwell-Pope again, Alex Caruso, Anthony Davis, Jared Dudley, Marc Gasol.
Okay.
They had a pretty good center group here.
Well, Mark was at the last year of his career.
Yeah. Montrezl Harrell, still a good,
solid
player. 5th year, he was a good player.
He was.
Yeah. He was still. He was like the year after his 6th Man of the Year award.
Yeah.
Taylor Horton Tucker,
rookie.
Kyle Kuzma, Wesley Matthews.
Oh yeah.
Markieff Morris. So he played with both Morris brothers. Dennis Schroeder, and of course LeBron James. So that was the year after the bubble. So he was a year off from getting the championship, but the Lakers team was okay. It was an okay team.
Okay.
And finally, let's go to the 2021-2022 Philadelphia 76ers. This team was actually the most wins Andre Drummond's ever been on. So I did win the house.
Well, he wasn't. He got traded halfway through the season.
True.
Well, 2/3.
But he was on the team though.
Yeah.
He was traded for Harden.
Was it Harden?
It was Harden and
the problem
Booker.
was it was Seth Curry. Yeah, they got Harden and
Trevor
they traded too many players.
No, not Trevor Booker. Sorry, Harden and Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
Their coach was Doc Rivers. Their executive was Daryl Morey. Some of his teammates were Willie Cauley-Stein, as he mentioned.
Yeah, he wasn't there for that long.
No, he was brought in for a little bit.
Actually, I think he got there after he got traded because they were trying to see if they could fill the center void.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah, you're right about that. I remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you mentioned Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris.
Second time he got to play with Tobias.
Second time. Isaiah Joe. DeAndre Jordan was on that team as well. Tyrese Maxey. Second year of Tyrese Maxey.
Hey, there we go.
Maxey.
Yeah, for some reason, they had a lot of centers on this team. Paul Millsap. Uriah's guy, Shake Milton. It's Georges Niang. Paul Reed. Matisse Thybulle.
That's actually Uriah.
Yeah,
that's
high. Yeah. And of course, Joel Embiid, James Harden. I really wanted to highlight those two teams, the Lakers and Sixers, because Andre Drummond actually played with a lot of great players. And we mentioned earlier, Dennis Rodman played with a lot of great future Hall of Fame players. Andre Drummond played with a lot of great players throughout his career. Now, none of them with the Pistons. That's a Pistons problem. But he played with some great players towards the tail end of his prime years.
And I just want to say, the Pistons did him dirty by trading him to the Cavs because I'm pretty sure they only got 2 second-round picks, John Henson, and maybe like one other contract.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cavs bought him out, and then he went to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yes.
So he's been on a minimum contract for quite a while now.
I mean, like above minimum, but like
Bulls contract was 2 years.
Yeah, and his current one with the Sixers is I think is $3 million a year or $6 million a year, something like that.
Or is it?
Yeah, he's going to exercise that.
Yeah.
I think he's getting 5. I think
it might
we're
be
paying
5.
5.
It might be 5. I'm come on 100%. I don't cover the Sixers full time anymore. Not for articles' sake, anyway.
All right. So with that said, though, any teammates stand out throughout the career so far of Andre Drummond? I'm gonna start with Uriah.
Shake Milton. somewhere in California, Gerald his head exploded just hearing Shake Milton. I you know what? I do recall him playing alongside Blake Griffin.
Yes.
And I think that was the one of the few seasons that they made the playoffs in Detroit with Drummond. And they were a pretty good tandem. Nice 1-2 punch.
Ben?
I mean, I gotta say Joel, just because like that was a pivotal point in his career. Playing backup, he was such a good backup. I kind of wish they would have kept him. Wonder what that would have looked like. So it took a lot of pressure off him. But I think just playing with a center at that level, Joel that was the era he was runner up for the MVP. Yeah.
Ben, do you remember when he first got to the Sixers facility and he gave Joel Embiid a hug?
Yeah.
Embiid gave this sideways look. Never forget that.
I thought he did such a good job as the backup and he filled in that year. So I just thought that was such a good pairing. And with that trade for Harden, I think looking back, they lost a little bit too much depth, I think.
Yeah.
And the Drummond thing was because Drummond was still good then. Like he could get you 20 rebounds, 10 and 20 consistently. So
easily.
Lucas?
Yeah.
When you look back at it, it was missed opportunities with teammates. That's what I say, because he had decent teammates that, I mean, maybe not make deep playoff runs, but he could have made playoff runs most of those seasons, especially in Detroit. I think, we talk about Reggie Jackson. His health was an issue. He had Blake Griffin, Tobias Harris. He had Chris Middleton, granted young Chris Middleton at that point, Brandon Jennings. There were players there that, could have helped him. But, it's just, bad coaching, bad GMing, all that stuff. Oh gosh, Ed Stefanski was their GM back when the Blake Griffin stuff went, the year after they acquired Blake Griffin.
And that's a shame too. I didn't highlight that season with Blake Griffin, but I actually think I agree with Uriah. That would have been a good 1-2 punch if both of them was in their primes.
Yeah, he had like 2 really good seasons, and then health just failed him at that point.
Yeah,
do you remember?
His athleticism.
You guys remember when Blake Griffin, like his last season in Detroit, he never dunked the basketball, But then he got traded to Brooklyn in the first game. He dunked the basketball, and everybody in Detroit got mad about that. Yeah, look, he never gave the effort. He didn't care. But anyway, this is not about Blake Griffin. So we can move on to Dennis Rodman.
His basketball IQ is off the charts. And I had an opportunity to experience that playing alongside him. Everyone knows that, he was, a part of a great team, but they didn't realize how great a rebounder Dennis was when he was with the Bad Boys. Right.
I didn't know either.
And, so a lot of his individual skills never really stood out. But, when he was able to come and join us with the Chicago Bulls, we not only got the greatest rebounder of all time, but we got a basketball player that had a very high basketball IQ. He knew how to win. It wasn't about just the leaders in Detroit, but they had a great piece here. A guy that was hungry and wanted to be known at the end of the day, as we know now.
So that was Scottie Pippen talking about his teammate, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was drafted with the 3rd pick in the 2nd round by the Detroit Pistons in the 86 draft. Let's get into some of his teammates. Rookie year, 1986-87 Detroit Pistons. They won 52 games, 30 losses. Coach was Chuck Daly. Executive was Jack McCloskey. They went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals when they lost to the Boston Celtics in Game 7. I think Uriah remembers Larry Bird steals the ball. You remember that, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. Isaiah with the turnover.
Guys, we just missed. I think Maurice mentioned it, but I didn't really click it. Joe Dumars, the exec that drafted Drummond, is used to play with Rodman.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Lucas, man.
So
look at
that.
The deep dive.
He had an eye for the...
I always try to find one connection somewhere. Yeah. And I was really struggling because I'm like, these guys there's no players that would have played with them. Well, not impossible, but unlikely.
Well, this is still the Detroit Pistons organization, so, they know rebounding. Anyway, some of his teammates were Adrian Dantley. Remember him? He was a scorer. Yep. Joe Dumars, Vinnie Johnson, the microwave, Bill Lambier, Rick Mahorn, John Sally, Isaiah Thomas, and like I mentioned, Joe Dumars. Earlier we mentioned Dennis Rodman coming into the league at 25 and finding his place on an NBA, first of all, but also being on a borderline championship team at the time. So let me guys ask you this question. Who was the biggest influence in Rodman's rookie season so far?
Ooh, great question. Great question. I guess I'll go first. It's got to be Isaiah Thomas. I think, and Rodman has said as much, that Isaiah Thomas really understood him, took him under his wing. I think he respected Isaiah because he was always the smallest player on the court, but had the play and desire that showed the biggest heart. And I think the respect that he had for Isaiah, who was already an established all-star by the time Rodman got there, national champion at Indiana University. Isaiah was that dude. And Ben mentioned it last season, season 1. Isaiah was that dude. He had that it factor. I think Rodman looked up to him, even though he was a lot taller than him. So I'd say Isaiah.
All right. Lucas?
I'm going to say, you think of the quote unquote responsible person in that group. It's Joe Dumars. He was the most level headed of the bad boys. So it's Joe Dumars.
Okay. Ben?
That's a good point.
I'm going to go Bill Lambier. He led the league in rebounding, kind of when Rodman was kind of on the team. And just the whole persona, work ethic. And I feel like he probably instilled that in Rodman. Him, Rick Mahorn, those kind of, the bad boys, John Sally. And so Rodman kind of was gifted into this franchise that had these really tough dudes who just out hustled and got into guys' heads. So I'm sure that is what formed Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Bill Laimbeer's idea not to shake the Bulls' hands after they got eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was another leader in that locker room whose voice carried far and wide.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. All right, let's move on to the 88-89 Detroit Pistons championship season. I highlighted this one over the other one simply because they have more wins. They went 63-19. Dominated.
Wow.
Their coach was Chuck Daly, executive Jack McCloskey again. They beat the Lakers, swept them 4-0 in 89 NBA Finals. I think that was the last year of Kareem, so they sent him out in retirement with a sweep in the finals. The only team to give the Pistons a tough time was the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals.
True.
They swept the Celtics, they swept the Bucks, and they swept the Lakers. And the Bulls were the only team that gave them 2 losses, so that was a little something to come for that rivalry, at least. So some of his teammates were Mark Aguirre, Daryl Dawkins was on that team. I didn't know that. Again, Joe Dumars, James Edwards, Vinnie Johnson, Bill Lambert, Rick Mahorn. Pretty much the same team. John Sally.
Same squad.
Yeah,
Yep.
Isaiah Thomas. They're pretty much the same team. This team was the best team. Well, I can't even make that. I was about to make the argument this was the best team Rodman was on, but no.
Yeah, it's hard to compare.
Yeah. Especially with another team coming up. Yeah, this was a really good defensive team. These were the bad boys. All right, so before I ask you guys another question, let me move on a little bit and skip to I just want to highlight the 94 and 95 San Antonio Spurs. They actually had a good record as well. The 94 and 95 Spurs went 62-20. Their coach was Bob Hill, and the executive was Greg Popovich.
Yes, he was.
What'd you say the year again of that
94
was?
95.
Yeah, and then the year later, yeah. So they took a gap year. Yeah.
So this team lost to the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals 4-2, but they were close though. Some of his teammates were Willie Anderson, Terry Cummings, Vinny Del Negro, Sean Elliott, Avery Johnson. I didn't know Moses Malone was on that team. Okay.
Yeah.
So really quick before we, Lucas, Sean Elliott, he's a guy to look into a comparison, by the way. He's because he's a throwback player to kind of now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Chuck Persons, Doc Rivers is on that team.
Oh.
That's right. Doc Rivers.
Yeah. J.R. Reed, and of course David Robinson. So
he was that was his MVP year, David Robinson? Was it? I think it was
94-95. That was the next season.
Yeah.
No, that was that season. I'm sorry. Who complimented Dennis Rodman's game the most so far in his career? I'm gonna start with Ben.
David Robinson. I mean, just the gravity. Yeah, 1,000%. Because at this point in his career, he didn't play with Michael Jordan yet. So I think the amount of doubles, just the freedom, probably the offense. He didn't play with an offensive player like that before. Because David Robinson was essentially playing like the bigs do now. I mean, he was that good.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely David Robinson.
I would agree because he never played with an offensive center and defensive. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a great point. I never thought of that. I guess the center in Detroit was always James Edwards, who was your prototypical back to the basket, kind of slow moving center. Mm-hmm. It was a guard oriented team in Detroit. So now that he gets to San Antonio, to Ben's point, David Robinson gives more space for Rodman to roam free, and it's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna also third that motion on that as well.
All right.
Yeah, and Rodman was All NBA that year, so as a forward with an MVP center. So that's quite a front court.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you imagine trying to get a rebound against those two?
No,
would never happen.
Better be good at boxing out.
David Robinson went from Dennis Rodman to Tim Duncan in a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're lucky. Yeah, that's lucky, man.
All right, so let's go move on to the other great team Dennis Rodman was on, the 95-96 Chicago Bulls. They won 72 games, lost 10. One of the greatest teams of all time. You'd ask anybody that.
Yeah.
The coach is Phil Jackson, executive Jerry Krause. Some of his teammates were. Actually, James Edwards was on his team as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Ron Harper, Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, Luke Longley, Scottie Pippen, another teammate, John Sally, and Michael Jordan.
Okay.
What's crazy is if you were to run off this list of this team right now, you would say, okay, they got some talent, but did they really win 72 games? But they did win 72 games.
Yeah.
You had prime.
Jordan was at.
Yeah.
Jordan was in his prime. He's
Still
just
prime.
unstoppable.
I mean,
it's so funny how many old centers and old players from the 80s are hanging on to the Bulls, like John Sally, you mentioned. Robert Parrish got a ring with Chicago.
Okay, in their defense, LeBron did the same thing in the 2010s.
LeBron had old Shaq.
Right.
He had, well, there was old Shaq. I'm talking like Miami LeBron and second stint Cleveland LeBron. You're talking about like Zydrunas Ilgauskas was on that Heat team. You had Brandon Haywood. You had Eric Dampier. You had Brandon Haywood was on the Cavs. Sorry. You had Greg Oden. You had Eddie Curry. Anderson Varejao for the second Cavs stint. There were quite a few old head centers that latch on to championship teams.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing with LeBron was outside of that one Lakers bubble year and then the Miami teams, he was always the underdog with those Cavs. So him being only 4 for 10, I think.
Yeah.
He was an underdog. Those teams shouldn't have been in the finals. He was rocking with some like rough supporting cast. From what we've learned, and I know there's a lot of animosity between Michael Jordan, but I think the defense, Scottie Pippen's defense and his flexibility allowed Michael Jordan to do what he could do. And I think Rodman and Pippen, their interchangeability on defense is really what stopped. Lucas and I were talking about John Stockton and Karl Malone. And if you look up John Stockton and Karl Malone, just their accolades and stats, you're like, oh, these two guys are top 20 all time. And the Bulls beat them
twice.
Yeah. These dudes in their prime. Karl Malone is the MVP. John Stockton is the best top 2, top 3 point guards of all time. Dennis Rodman, I think, had a big part in that because he had to guard Karl Malone. And Karl Malone, people don't realize, he's considered a playoff dropper.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of that has to do with Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. So I'm going to say, and their ability to guard them. So I'm going to say Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Dennis Rodman was beating these guys into the ground early on at the Pistons. And so he knows them going from Detroit to Chicago. So he knows them. And you know, he's been on the court with them. So he knows how good they were. So them coming together, it was kind of like a big three. You know, Rodman did some different things, but it was kind of a big three if you really look at it.
Yeah, because you would just stop two of the most offensive juggernauts of all time. Yeah. So people forget that. Yeah. The Jazz team.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm not really going to highlight his last 2 seasons, but after this he played with the Lakers, Kobe, Shaq, Derek Fisher, and then after that he ended his career back home with Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki. Steve Nash was on that team. So he played with a lot of great players as well. So I actually think Rodman played with better, more Hall of Fame level players than Drummond so far in his career. But, I mean, hey, one person played with Michael Jordan, the other player played with LeBron James. So they both played with great players.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And Jordan was the only player that had the cachet to travel to Las Vegas, knock on Rodman's hotel door while Carmen Electra is hiding behind the couch to say, "Dennis, we need you." And he responded. He had to turn down, was it Hulk Hogan?
Yeah,
He was doing wrestling stuff with Hogan. Yeah, he was a character, man. Rodman was something else.
Yeah, he really was. All right, so that's it for Dennis Rodman.
Now that we've given you all the facts on Andre Drummond and Dennis Rodman, it's time for you to make your case.
At this point, it's not about our opinions, it's about yours.
We'll see you on your favorite social media platform, ready to check out your takes. Chime in on Instagram at NBA_now_and_then_pod, on X at NBA_now_and_then, And don't forget our YouTube and Facebook pages, NBA Now and Then.
For the sources of information used in this episode, you can visit our website, www.nbanowandthen.com. Also, check out our website to sign up for our monthly newsletter and check out our comparison articles.
Don't forget that you can follow the NBA stars we featured on today's episode through their social media.
You can follow Andre Drummond on X at Andre Drummond and Instagram at Drummond.
And you can follow Dennis Rodman on X at Dennis Rodman and on Instagram at Dennis Rodman.
Until next time, on behalf of Maurice, Ben, Lucas, and me, NBA Now and Then, greatest comparisons. Later.
Peace.
Adios.
We are excited to present to you Andre Drummond and Dennis Rodman. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
Dang it, I got caught.
What the hell?
I don't know.
What are you doing,
I don't know
Lucas?
what happened.
What happened?
Get a little excited over there, buddy.
I guess so. We're talking about big men. Okay, try again. I'm sorry.
He likes big men. He's a big man.
No, don't. Okay.
All right, let me start over. All right.